Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mahmoud Al-Odeh, another video for the Lean Six Sigma workshop. In this video, I will be talking about Lean, why we should use Lean and what's the Lean philosophy. And also we'll be talking about several techniques that we could use to implement Lean. And before we start this, as usual, I'd like to recap what we have finished so far in this workshop, and starting with what is Lean Six Sigma. It's a combination between Lean methodology and Six Sigma. Lean is a process for removing waste. Six Sigma is a process or a data-driven technique that will help us to reduce the variation, will help us to reach to the goal of Six Sigma or six standard deviation from the goal, or what we call 3.4 defects per million opportunities. We did talk about the quality pioneers and who came up with different theories such as Deming, Ishikawa, Tagoshi, and many other people who contributed to the field. Also, we did talk about Six Sigma in particular as the characteristic of this as a data-driven, comprehensive team. It's a team involvement. We need to involvement from everyone, motivate the people. And also we did talk about the phases of the DMAC Six Sigma methodology: the define, the measure, analyze, improve, and control. These are the 5 phases that we use in the Six Sigma. In this video, we will continue, which is the Lean part of the Lean Six Sigma. What is the Lean? Lean, it's a set of tools that will help us to remove waste and improve quality. And the Lean it's just not only a technique, it's a mindset, it's a philosophy that will help us to better serve our customers. We need to say, okay, how we could make it better for our customer. Lean, it's a great set of tools that will help us to improve quality, time, and also improve customer satisfaction. The goal of Lean is to have a continuous improvement in our organization. We need to keep improving over the time. It's not just only one thing. If you've done a great job today, also you need to work, you need to find a better opportunity tomorrow in order to keep improving your process. We can accomplish this a robust way by convening Kaizen project teams that can result in major improvement to quick wins that can be quickly and easily implemented. So Kaizen is one of the techniques that we use to quick implementation for this. And we could use Kaizen also for the Six Sigma. And so Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma is a combination between these tools. Lean is about simplification. The more simple your process, the more lean you are. So we need to eliminate tasks. And we don't have to add any value. We have to add a value and remove the non-value added activities. Make things easy. Automate repetitive tasks. If there's something that you have to repeat it again, have that process automated. Leverage staff talent. Improve their utilization, your resources. What's the difference between value? So when we talk about Lean, we're talking about removing waste. And when we talk about removing waste, we talk about value added and non-value added. The value added is something that the customer is willing to pay for it. And this is what actually transforms a product or service. If it's done correctly, it should be from the first time. However, the non-value added, it consumes resources without adding or creating a value. Non-value added is low percent of the time work is complete and accurate. So we have a really lower percentage. So anything will add a value to the customer, that's a value added. If there's no value added, this is a non-value added. Non-value added, it requires extra time, effort, and resources. Let's take a look here. We're saying removing waste, here's a process. And you see the green one is the value added. The yellow one is the non-value added. Our goal when we implement Lean is to reduce the non-value added. However, there's some non-value added time that you can't get rid of it. So you can't remove this from your process. You should keep it. It's okay to keep it. But however, you need to look into how you could reduce the non-value added. So you could compress the process from this long line into a short line. The lean principles, it's basically there are 4 or 5. I think there are 5, but here is listed the most important 4. So customer focus, respect, data-driven decision, and results. Starting with the first one, customer focus. We need better, faster, and cheaper services. Accurate measurement, accurate time, accessible, treatment, effective, and this will be also the last one would be the cost, right price or resource investment. Data-driven, you need to gather data, and based on the data, you could make some decisions. Deming said, a bad process will beat a good person every time. So it is about the process. It's not about the people. Once you have a good process, you could put people and train them to be productive. So this is where the respect. We have to respect the people. We have to train them. Fix the process first time, and then determine if additional staff are needed to get the work done. Another important aspect of respect is get the people involved with your process improvement. You don't want to push on them some decisions. You need the decisions to be coming from them. What do you think? How we could improve? And ask them to think about 1 or 2 solutions to improve their process. Employees are central to value creation. And so we have to grow leaders who understand the work, live the philosophy, and teach it to others. This is the most important thing, how we could motivate people, how we could talk to people, develop exceptional people and teams who follow lean principles, collaborate with partners and suppliers to improve customer value. Collaboration is really important in lean. You need to implement a long-term technique, long-term goals to be able to achieve the process. And before the results, set smart goals and measurement result. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, my goal in this process is to reduce the time it takes to pack a meal box from 10 minutes to 8 minutes by February of 2021. For example, so you have to be specific. You have to set a measurable goal, something that you can attain it, but still challenging, relevant to your area, and a time bound by the time. Some of the concept that we will be talking about it here in this slide, PDSA cycle, which is what is known by the Deming cycle, the 7 ways, 5S, standard work, visual management, KAIZEN, and KAIZEN event, and maybe problem solving, which is all we're talking about is problem solving in this chapter. Plan, define the project, hold for the do, you have to hold event, implement action plan, study and monitor the process every often 30, 60, 90 days review, and act, adopt, adjust to sustain the process. This is what is known as the Deming cycle. Plan, do, study, and act. Or some people, they call it chicken act. There are different names for it, but we'll use the simplification. As I mentioned, lean is all about simplification. As long as you have a process improvement, whatever you call it, just call it. Just maintain it, sustain your improvement. As long as you are able to define the project, you are able to understand all the details, this is what we call the plan. In the Six Sigma, we call the defined. The do, this is in Six Sigma, we call it improve. And I like Ichikawa when he expanded on the Deming cycle and provided more details. So we could go about this and talk about more details for this. Okay, 7 waste. In Lean, they identified 7 waste defects in your process, overproduction, that you don't need it, waiting time or waiting for raw material to come, this is a waste, non-utilized staff talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing. This is an extra step that we added recently, which is extra processing in order to achieve. And maybe you could do a downtime as another 7 waste. So there are a lot of waste that we should eliminate the waste. We should eliminate the waste in these areas, and we should say, okay, what we could do to remove the waste from these areas. From inventory, what is the best way to better utilize my warehouse? Transportation, what would be the best route to take in order to deliver this, etc. So you could take a look into these areas and remove the waste from these areas. The effort involved in inspection and for fixing defects, this is also a waste. We should remove it. Producing more products or services than the customer needs, we don't need that. So why we need it? When people, parts, systems, or facilities wait for a prior step in the process to be completed, we should take it out. The waiting is typically 90% of the process time. The goal is to smooth and continuous flow between each process. Once you remove this waiting waste, what you're gonna do, you're gonna improve the process by having a smooth flow and remove any waste. Non-value added. This is a non-value added, should be removed. Non-utilized talent. Staff hired to do a specific job, and they're spending most of their time on something else. In academia, for example, we're hired to teach in Bemidji State. We're asked to do something in something else related to admins. And that's why we overwhelmed by doing other things. Do not let your employees' skills go to waste. Remove process barriers so the staff can do the work they were hired for. Transportation. Also, transportation of products, equipment, material, or people without adding value. So transportation, try to remove any waste from transportation. Unnecessary in inventory, unnecessary storage of material should be removed. Motion, movement of people that does not add value to a product or service and may create health and safety issues. So if there is some issue like this, should be removed. Here's an example from academia. Sometimes require 500 trips required to collect course change forms per semester. And this would be 80 hours of walking between buildings required per semester. Wow, look at that. How about we could fix that by electronic approval? Maybe that would work. Extra processing, producing a higher quality product or service than what is required by the customer, and using elaborate or expensive equipment when more simple options exist. So if some people, they think, oh, well, if I invested in this machine, that will give me a better quality. But, is this quality needed by the customer? Maybe the customer is not ready to pay for this. So we need to be honest here. Fancy equipment does not mean high quality. Fancy equipment does not mean that the customer will be happier. We need to be careful about how we could invest in this. Improvement strategies. Improvement strategies could be by eliminating non-value added, combine task or function, co-locate work, add them together, maybe, concurrent processing, shift rules and responsibilities, automation, another solution, eliminate or reduce batching, and solve problems. This is some of the things that you could use to improve as an improvement strategies. Another lean technique that we use is the 5S. And the 5S is a simple method for creating clean, safe, orderly, high-performance work environment. We need to sort equipment, sit in orders, shine, standardize, sustain. Sort them between what is needed, what is not needed. If you need it, keep it. If you not need them, send them away. Sit in order, organize them, put them on the shelves. Shine, that would be cleaning the dust from the tools, make sure it looks nice. Standardize could be adding labels to that. And sustain, keep doing the same thing. Do not displace your tools. And they've added another S, which is the safety, S for safety as well. Mistake, error or mistake proven, or what we call the Poka-Yuka. This is one technique that we could use it. Prevent the customer from doing the mistake. Prevent the user from doing the mistake. Prevent your employee from doing the mistake. Here's an example. If you look into the recycling machine or recycling bin, you will see that there's a specific slot in the top which will guide you to recycling versus the other for waste. So this is kind of a technique what we use the error-proof mistakes or eliminating errors from the first time, or what we call the Poka-Yuka, and this is of course a Japanese term. Another way for doing lean is using the visual management. And this will give you a communication right away at a glance where this should be. You could use the red, green, yellow and to identify where items belong, how many items left. You could do a standardized process or procedure and a work in progress items if you could see. Communication board is another lean technique where you could improve your communication with a team by looking into a board, and the team will be able to understand the board within 30 seconds or less. Here's an example on the right side of a communication board. Kaizen, it's a Japanese word, means continuous improvement or the good change. Kaizen even is a facilitated small scope improvement activity that engage the creativity of employees to reduce waste in the work process. Kaizen event, it's a quick improvement that you could involve your team to say, okay, well, we have 1 week. I don't want you to work your traditional, your daily work. I want you to take off from your ordinary work and work on brainstorming how we could improve the process. Once you are able to identify this, we will implement that. And usually it takes a week, maybe 3 to 5 days as listed here, but there's a quick benefit from that because you could quickly add value to the process. You could quickly improve the process. Of course, Kaizen events requires a lot of resources. Some of the resources that we've used in the past, such as the chart or the flip paper, and we brainstorming on what should be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or day 1 to day 2, day 3, etc., in order to make a process improvement. Standardization, it's a great way. Ono of the vice president of Toyota company said, where there is no standard, there can be no Kaizen. So standardization make a better utilization for resources. Standardization will reduce variation. Standardization will help improve quality as well. In help our employees to focus on their work as well. Albert Einstein said, if I were given 1 hour to save the world, I would spend 59 minutes defining the problem and 1 minute solving it. This quote is really important because whenever you think about process improvement, don't think about what you should implement. Don't think about the solution right away. Think about the understanding the current situation first. Brainstorming ideas. Make sure that you have a correct measurement. Make sure that you have a correct flow chart, a current map. Make sure that you have a clear problem statement. Once you're finished with the 3 phases of the Six Sigma, define, measure, analyze, you could do the improvement. So most of your effort should be spent on defining the problem, not solving the problem. Once you identify the problem, you could later on identify the problem. KANBAN is another lean technique where we put all the information on one card. You don't have to go to anywhere. You would see on that card how many items left in the warehouse, where this is going to, what part should we go to. Everything should be listed on the card as well. There's a few links here I listed here, so you could maybe look it up for Kanban for review. With that, I'd like to thank you. We're done with the first part of the Lean Six Sigma, and we're moving into more details in the future about more technical. This is just an overview of what is Lean Six Sigma, the tools, the techniques, the objectives. I'd like to thank you very much for all your patience through this workshop. This is a great workshop. You will benefit from it, and hopefully you will pass the Lean Six Sigma exam through ACME. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in another video.